John Travolta is a name that reminds us of some blockbuster hits and dance moves like nobody's business. However, behind his iconic roles and Hollywood fame is a life filled with tragedy entwined with fame and personal loss. John's journey is about a man who faced a lot of private battles that few can go through, regardless of whatever his public image was. Now, this is his story, a story that shows the contradictions that come with a life lived in the spotlight. John rose to stardom quickly in the late 1970s with roles in blockbuster films like Saturday Night Fever and Grease. Now, this dude quickly became a cultural icon. His character, Tony Manero, with his signature dance moves, became a symbol of being cool, cementing him in the hearts of people all over the world. His portrayal was so accurate that he was an instant hit in Hollywood. But this sudden rise to fame came with a deep internal struggle too. Now, despite who he was on screen, the confident young man, behind the scenes he was battling insecurities that nobody knew about, along with trying to handle the overwhelming pressure that came with the game. Now, to the whole world, he was a young actor at his peak, but inside, John was always questioning his worth, always plagued with self-doubt and insecurities and imposter syndrome. Now, behind the scenes, he had to navigate the harsh realities that came with fame at such a young age. The sudden transition from being an unknown actor to a global sensation in such a short time came with its own set of challenges. Now, this dude was under the public eye, and every move that he made, every word that he said, was scrutinized by everybody, be it fans or critics alike. Now, the weight of this was not easy to bear, leading John to often doubt himself and his abilities. As he rose through the ranks, so did the weight of the personal tragedies that he had to face along the way. Now, during his early career, he lost Diana Hyland, a woman 18 years older than him, but a close friend regardless. Now, she was battling breast cancer and sadly lost that battle in 1977. Now, her death left him heartbroken, dealing with the loss of a friend at such a young age, and all while his fame was at its peak, that was not an easy thing for him to handle. This pattern of success with loss became a theme in his life. In 2009, he lost his son Jet, which was perhaps the biggest blow. Now, Jet passed away from a seizure on vacation, and this tragedy shook John and his family to the core. For a long time, he withdrew from the spotlight, unable to deal with the heavy burden of this grief. A man who brought joy to millions through his films lived a life marked with unbelievable loss and tragedy. His personal tragedies didn't have just an emotional effect. They had a deep impact on his career too. Now, after Jet's death, he stepped away from the spotlight and gave all of his focus to his family and on healing himself. The actor, who was a blockbuster hit, became a resilient figure in the face of unimaginable grief. Now, this was a straight-up turning point in his life, as he spent most of his time dealing with balancing his public image and his private pain. John had always been a fan favorite. His roles in films like Pulp Fiction and Face Off have gained him a lot of praise and a horde of fans rallying for him. But yet with his fame came the scrutiny of his personal life. Now, John's involvement in Scientology, a religion that's been already likened with a lot of controversy, has been the major source of this kind of speculation. Even though he hasn't been deterred from his beliefs, the media's always painted him in a lot of mystery and controversy. Still, though, he credits his religion with helping him navigate the various challenges that life has thrown his way. Now, this is not where his story ends, though. Now, rumors have been swirling throughout the years about John's relationships, and these rumors have often overshadowed his professional achievements. Now, even though he was constantly denying it, the public has only gotten more curious about his private life. Now, the man who entertained the world with his performance on screen has to defend himself against the world's gossip. Just imagine that. Every relationship that he's ever had, every public appearance that he's ever made has been overly scrutinized and dissected. The media has been obsessed with his private life, and this obsession only grew as his fame did. His romantic life offered no reprise from these struggles, though, being just as complex, if not more so. The dude was married to Kelly Preston for nearly 3 decades, and it was a bond of deep love and companionship. But every love story comes with its own fair share of heartache. In 2020, Kelly passed away after a cruel battle with breast cancer. Now, John was once again left to mourn a deep loss, and the fact that he'd already lost somebody close to him to the same disease didn't make things any easier for him. Now, even while this guy was grieving, there were whispers circulating that he had found love again. However, he hasn't confirmed any new relationships. But still, people close to him suggest that he might just be open to the idea of such deep companionship once again. At one point or another, the idea of moving on in love after such a huge loss is the one that we can all relate to. The love story of John and Kelly was among the most famous ones for its time, but of course it came with its own fair share of challenges and drama. The couple had to go through one of the toughest times of the marriage when they lost their son. Now, dealing with the public eye all those years also didn't make anything easy for them neither. But no matter what life threw their way, they never lost the love that they had for each other, and they used that to hang on and weather the storm. Despite his many professional achievements, John has never looked for fulfillment on the silver screen. Instead, he's always looked beyond it for that sense of peace and that feeling of gratitude. Now, his passion for aviation is well known by many people, and it gives him joy and freedom that he can never match with all the pressures of Hollywood and everything else going on in his life. The guy's a licensed pilot and is also an aviator with his own fleet of planes, including a Boeing 707. The guy even built a home with a runway and a front yard. Now, his love for flying comes from it being a personal escape, the only way that he can find any meaning outside of the public eye. I mean, John's not just an actor. The dude's got way more to him than that. In the chaotic world of Hollywood, very few people can find some sense of control and freedom, and John finds it not there, but up in the skies. His dedication to his passion can be seen in the lengths that he's gone to make it a part of his life. Reconnecting with his passion is what gives him true joy, and even if this side of him is overshadowed by his Hollywood life, you know what? It's the most important part of who he is. As John goes through his life and career, questions arise about his legacy. Now, this guy has definitely left a mark on the film industry, giving us performances that might never be forgotten. But his legacy isn't shaped by just that, but rather by the personal trials that he's faced and the grace with which he's tackled it. Now, this guy has endured and still created despite the many challenges that he faced, and it's this ability that is his most significant achievement. Now, he's a man who is still evolving in the public eye, somebody who has experienced both immense success and great loss and has been both celebrated and scrutinized. And you know, in a lot of ways, John's life is a reflection of the moments that we all face, right? The want to be successful, the need to be personally fulfilled, the gratitude from love versus the pain of loss. Now, this journey is inspiring to many and gives a peek into the realities of life itself. And it's really got to make you stop and wonder, if he can survive all of that and keep going, who are we to judge and scrutinize this man for what he does? So anyway, what y'all think defines John Travolta more, his iconic roles or the personal battles that he's fought behind the scenes? Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.